I have a new toy that I'm going to be utilizing, you know, me and my toys. This is from Chauvet. It's called a cast tube, or the cast tube. I was looking at this item for quite some time, and I was on eBay and I got a pretty good deal on it. And so I decided to give it a shot. As you see, I got my Chauvet Freedom Stick behind me, but I wanted to give this a try. So I open up the box. This is the box here. There's pretty much nothing inside of it. Well, I mean, the case is inside of it, which is this case right here, but there's nothing else inside this box. So it's just pretty much an empty box. As we open it up, you'll see it before I do. We have, looks like the instructions. A little pocket here that holds the instructions and the remote control. And then of course the cast tube itself and the mounting bracket, and it looks like a charging cable right here. Then I'll open up these instructions and see if there's anything of value for me with the instructions. Usually some of the stuff is pretty simple to operate, so I just turn it on and just give it a shot. But with this one, I want to see if there's anything of value in here. All the same crap, I guess, in the beginning. This is how you plug it in, charge it. The remote control. That's funny. It's like, hey, this remote control here, when it shows blue,
you can change it to blue.
When it's red,
you can change it to red.
That's what that means. Then they have static, auto show, program speed, sound mode. So it looks like this is in DMX though, menu map. So I guess we'll go to the menu map and I'll show that on screen here. Shows the remote and then different languages. So pretty much literally 2 pages worth of information. This is going to be pretty basic. Take this instructions and just throw that bad boy away. This is the cast tube here, and I'll just take it out of the plastic. So first and foremost, it has the protective film on here so you can see that, but it has the threading here on one side and the other side. So I guess you can go top and bottom, or maybe you can mount multiples to it is what I'm thinking. If you use a male-to-male adapter, but this one, you can stack another one on top is what I would assume. And then you have the mounting on the bottom there as well. So you can either set it horizontal or vertical. And then as I mentioned, we have the feet, I guess, for it. You have your feet here. And this is a standard mounting. I have a lot of these brackets for my cameras and such. So you have your standard bracket here. I normally do it this way, it's just my personal preference. And then once it gets to a certain point, then you tighten it, and then boom, it just stays just like that. And I guess the same thing with the other way of mounting it. Don't worry, I'm going to get into actually turning it on here in a second, but I want to show it. I think I like it this way. I don't know, you tell me which way do you think looks better, but I think I like it this way myself. All right, but for now, I'm just going to go ahead and take the feet off completely. In the case here, you can see it's got the foam that's all cut out, so everything goes smoothly and effectively in the correct spot. So now we have the buttons here. So obviously you have your charging back here, and that looks like a USB-C right there. And then you have your power button, and then your menu, up and down and enter. Hit the button and it doesn't do anything. Hold the button and it still doesn't come on. Did you send me something that needs power already, buddy? So this is the first time I've ever received a unit that has literally 0 power as it's shipped. That's fine. I'll go ahead and charge it up. I have my USB adapter right there. So I'm going to pause this video up and start it up again once it's ready. In actuality, the first unit that I received didn't come on at all, didn't turn on. So this one I literally just pulled out of the case, and I'm about to hit the button, and then we'll go through the menu and see exactly how it works. I set up separate chapters specifically for each function of the cast tube, so that way you can just go right to where you want to be. If you're wanting to know how to utilize the strobes, you can jump to that. If you're wanting to see the internal sound patterns, you can jump to that. If you're looking for the auto function, you can jump straight to that. So it's just a lot easier for you to navigate through this video because it is so long. So this is your power button here. You hold it down for about 10 seconds. You can see Chauvet light up, which it didn't do last time. Ooh, and that is like a pinkish. So the first thing that shows says RW, which is red and white, which gives you a pink. And as we scroll through the menu, this is RGW, which means red, green, and blue, which is supposed to be a white, but as you can see here, has like a hue on here of like a purplish red. Let's keep going. Oops, by the way. Red and green, which is supposed to be amber. I never like the mixture of red and green with any LEDs because it's supposed to be amber, but it really never looks amber. It looks more green than anything. This one is going to be red and blue, which gives you a lavender or a purple. This one has to be blue and green. And this one is W, which is white. Blue for B, and I'll go through all these on the back side as well. So as you can see here, you have your LCD display right there. Sorry, this red. Then we have green, blue, white, blue and green, blue and red, red and green, red, green, blue, RGB, red and white. That one looks like green and white, blue and white, red, green and white, red, blue and white, green, blue and white, RGB, W. And now we're back to red. So those are the 4 colors on here. And I'm just going to try the mode button. So those are just cycling through the colors, and that's just basically on static. So anyway, as you look on here, my face is red like a horror movie. But you can see your battery light indication right there, and of course your menu. What I want to do is I want to go through the modes and see what else we have here. So you can either go from fixed color, which is their RGB AWs that I've already gone through, or you can do a color temperature. And I want to see what this color temperature looks like. So I'm going to hit the enter button, and you can see the different color temperatures that we have. Right now we're on 4,000, so let's just go down. Got a serious blue tint right there. Even more blue, so as you see we're getting cooler with this color temperature, all the way down to 7,200. So that's the cool temperature there. Then we go to the warm temperature. The warm temperature starts at 2,700, then we got 2,800, 3,000, 3,000, 32, 35, and then we start getting into the, again, the cooler whites here. This one is really, really cool. Hold this up here so you can see it. So we start with 2,700. And this is going to be bright on the screen. 27. And as you cycle through, depending on what you want to use this for. So the first one is static. Then after that is auto show. Then we have the program speed for your show. Sound mode, sound sensitivity, manual mode, strobe rate, master dimmer, and then your IR settings. And then we go back up to the top. So now we'll try auto show and hit enter. And as you see, it is going through a predetermined program. It has a total of 4 different shows. This one, number 1, I'm assuming is just going to go through the standard colors, red, green, blue. We already did green, now it's fading into blue. Then it should fade into white. And then back into red, I would assume. Yeah, so this one is just your RGBW fade. Next one, show number 2, I'm going to start with red. I could make this go faster. It does have a speed mode, but we'll keep it like this so you can get the full effect. So this one looks like it's more of a fade in and out type of pattern. It goes from 0 to full intensity back down to 0. Then it switches to the next color at 0. So right now we're going to 0. Now we're up to green full intensity, and then green back down to 0. Then we'll go blue 0 all the way up to full intensity, then back down to 0, then white full intensity, then back down to 0, then red again. So that's what this auto program number 2 looks like it's doing, which is kind of similar to what's going on with the Chauvet Freedom Sticks behind me. You can see it was fading as well, kind of almost at the same speed, but you can see it's fading 0 to full intensity, then back down to 0, just like this. So that's number 3 on the auto program. We'll go to number 4. Hard to tell what this one is doing. This one looks like it is just fading through the colors just faster. It doesn't seem like it's doing anything different than the other two. We have white, then we're going to go back to red. Oh. Yeah, so here comes red. Oh no, okay, got it. So this one added the color mix in there. So when it got to white, then it switched over to doing the red and green mix, red and blue mix, blue and green mix. So this is blue. Now we're going to go to, should be green. Then we're going to go to white. Then we're going to go to that red, green, white mix, I guess is what it is. Yeah, so this one adds a little bit more of the color mixing in here. Here comes a red, green, white mix here. So that one, not really a fan of that. Actually, I'm not a fan of any of the fading, maybe number 2. But so far, nothing special. This is auto program number 4, and this is the last auto program that they have. So this looks like a variation of auto program number 3. We're just adding a fade down to 0 with each one of them. So we go to green, fade it down, then back up to blue, fade it all the way up, fade it all the way down, then to white, fade it all the way up, then bring it all the way down, then we start our color mixing. So that's really the only difference between those two. But we'll let it go all the way through its program. We'll get out once it gets back to red. Now we'll start our color mixing. See, there's the red-green mix. Then we'll fade it to 0. Now we should be blue-green or blue-red. Yep. Then fade it to 0. Then we'll be blue-green, fade it to 0. Then we should be back at red. Unless they do the white mixture, which is a possibility. They didn't do the blue-green. So now we're at red and white. Okay. So they're adding a white color mixture in there. So this one would be green-white. Nope. It's like blue-green right here. Okay, so they're mixing it up a little bit. There's the green-white I was talking about. There's the blue-white. Then after this should be either RGBAW or it'll be back to red. We'll see what they want to do with this. Yeah, that's the full, that's all of them, RGBAW right here. So then after this will be red. Huh, okay.
I stand corrected.
Oh, it's RGBW. This one RGB8. I don't know which one it is, but you can see. You can see for yourself. This should be red. Well, what the Sam hell? I see what happened. RGBAW. That was red, green, and white. This one is red, blue, and white. So the next one should be green, blue, and white. Now red, please. Make me look smart, or not. Oh, the heck was that? Red, here we go, red. Geez, that was a lot of color fading. Now we're back at red. As you can see right here, just below, it says program speed, so we can adjust the speed of those programs that we just witnessed. This one is sound mode. We'll go ahead and have it on sound mode. We'll hit enter. Where's my? So as I told talk, you can see the color is changing. The sensitivity, I would assume, is pretty high because it is picking up my voice and changing a lot. It does have different programs within sound mode, so it doesn't have to go with this fade. This is sound mode number 1. So if we go to sound mode number 2, it looks like a fade down, then a fade back up. Sound mode number 3, I don't know what this is doing yet because it's not picking up my voice. So let's see if it picks up my voice. So the way it looks like to me is whatever program, number 1 on that program is going to be your basic RGB, red, green, blue, white. Then when you go to the number 2, it is a fade down. So it always fades to 0 like it's doing here. And then it'll fade back up to the next one and fade to 0. So you can see that it's doing it right here, and then it fades back up, so it goes through the pattern. When you go to number 3, this one introduces the color mixing. You can see right here the white and blue that it didn't have with the others. You'll see this is white and red. The sensitivity is pretty high, so it's fading through quickly. Your sensitivity adjustments will vary on the location and your volume and all of that good stuff. So then when you go to number 4 should also be a fade to 0, but it adds that color mixing in there. So you can see the color mixing, but you can also see it fading to 0 like this. See how it fades to 0. And that's pretty much it. Then it goes back up to 1, which is your RGBW. Now we're going to go next, as I mentioned. So you can see just below sound mode, it says sound sensitivity. So that is how you can adjust your sensitivity, obviously. And this one is manual mode. And I'm assuming manual mode means that you're going to have a lot of control. And then you can also see your adjustments that you can do on pretty much every single one of them. So if you're looking for a particular color, then you're able to color mix from 0 to 255 to get the exact color that you're looking for. This one, I don't see many people utilizing this, but it's there in case you need it. I don't want to necessarily color mix, but let's say you have a specific logo that you're trying to reproduce the color. Well, you can find out what your RGB colors are and then program them in here, and that should match up the actual colors. So next we have the strobe rate. So I am going to turn this on and close my eyes. I'm hoping it doesn't blind me.
I'm blind! No, no, no!
See, right now it's not even strobing. So right here it is on 0. It's also on pure white, so the strobe is only white. It's weird. Figured you can do whatever color you want, but that's not the way it works. So I'm going to go backwards. Right now it's on 0. So if I go backwards, it should go to 255, and that should be the fastest strobe. So we'll give that one a shot. And it actually sets up at 100. You can see right there, it says 100, not 255. So 100 is the fastest strobe that you can do. And I said 255 because that's normally how it works with DMX. Just like you saw with the manual mode, how red you can go 255 from 0 to 255. The same thing with green, the same thing with blue. So as I slow it down, actually I'm going to go backwards. So that's 0 strobes per second, I guess is what it is. So this is at 1, 2, 3. So we'll ramp it up here. So that's 20. That's 40. That's 60. That's 80. And then back up to 100. And let me turn this around on me so you can see what it looks like as it's strobing on me. So the strobe is actually very bright. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. I'm going to bring up that strobe a little bit. Okay, so this is at 50. So this is at 70. Do 85 right here. This is 85. And then we'll go all the way up to 100. This is at 100 again. I think 100 is a little bit potent, more potent than you need. But we'll go down. This is at 99, 98, 97, 96. I think between 95 and 96 is like a good fast strobe rate. I think 99 is too fast. You can't really tell it's strobing. Even in the video, you can't tell it's strobing. But this is at 95. All right, let me give my eyes a break now. Next is your master dimmer. Enter. I think personally the master should be set on 255. And it's fading through. I guess so you can see what the master intensity is on each of the colors. So I'm assuming this is going to go down, and then we'll bring up blue. See there, we brought up the blue. So that's your master dimmer. So you can go from 255 all the way up to, or all the way down to 0. And then everything in between. So right now that's on 9. I'm going to be on 20 right now. That's 20. That's 40. That's 60. Here comes 80. I think it's going to fade down, so we'll bring that green up. That's 80. And then back up to, well, it's only 80, so we got to go 255. So we just bring this all the way up, but you can see that you're able to adjust the intensity of the unit. That's all the way up. And the last setting right here with the arrow is your IR settings. So I'm curious what that is. And IR setting just turns your IR on and off for your remote. So you're able to adjust the color on your remote using the remote, which we'll go over here in a second, but I'm going to keep it on. Hit enter, and then we will get out of here. And now what we're going to do, now that we've gone through the entire menu, we're going to see if the remote works. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the stand up. I'm going to put this light behind me and see if that IR is going to work. Okay, take the remote out of the plastic, pull out the battery saver, and we'll just give a red a try. Nothing. Auto, so it's on auto mode right now. I need to put it on manual mode. Turn auto off, it's not working. This is strobe. It's actually controlling my, that's funny. It is controlling my freedom stick, so I'm going to turn this off so we don't do both of them. The way that I'm going to use this fixture and the remote is I would set it to static mode, then hit enter, then have it on fixed color, hit enter. Now it is set up on red because that's just kind of what it defaults. And then I should be able to go through the colors. That's green. It's supposed to be green, but that green does not look green. Blue, white, yeah. It's not doing what I wanted to do.
A few minutes later.
All right, so took a little trial and error with this unit here to figure things out. And what I figured out is that the colors on the remote, they don't really mean what you think they mean. Like if you see up here where it says RGB right here, RGB, A, UV, W. So you figure if you hit those buttons, it'll go to red, green, blue, or whatever. But that's not what happens. So let me just get out of here and let me see if I'm wrong here. So if I go to manual mode, it's not doing anything right here. Let me go to auto. So if I go to auto, then that goes through the different programs and you can see the 4 that are there. Then you use your up and down arrows to toggle through the different programs that are already there. Now if I go to fade, for instance, that also goes to the same program. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be using this remote because it's not as intuitive as you would think it would be. You would think that if you want to just change the colors and go to red, you would hit the R button and it would go to red, but it doesn't actually change the color. So now I'm trying to hit where it says manual mode right here, and it's not doing anything. However, if I want to do a fade, then I'll go ahead and hit fade. See, and it switches it over to the internal program. Then from there, you use your up and down arrows, your plus and minus arrows to adjust through the different programs. Now I hit auto, and you see how it switched over. I just hit the strobe button, and then I can adjust with the up and down buttons. If I hit down, that should take me up to down to 100 because it's on 0, and it starts to strobe. Then I go back up to 0. If I want to do a sound mode, click sound and you can see that it's going through, and then I should be able to toggle through the different ones. I just don't know why it's not picking up my voice, not sure. You want to do a fade, same thing, and then you should be able to toggle through different ones, but for some reason it doesn't want to do that. This one, it should be the master intensity button here. So I just went to 0, you see how it went down. Now I went to 255 and it's going all the way back up to full intensity. Honestly, the only feature that I would use with this light fixture would be the blackout feature, because it is not as intuitive as I would like it to be. Maybe if you just want to go into auto, you hit the auto button and then you go through the different, hit the auto button right here, and you go, you know, you set it up on a program, and then if for whatever reason you want to turn it off basically without going over to it, you can hit the blackout button, which is right here, hit the blackout, and then it is supposed to black out. So I don't know if I'd use any of these features on this remote. The remote is more of a pain in the butt than it is useful, because some buttons work on certain settings and some don't. So this remote, to me, you just figured you want to use it and then you try to use it and you can't, so you just got to walk over to the light anyway. It just becomes more frustrating than anything. For instance, in auto mode, if you're in auto mode, if you try to hit the blackout button, which is right here, it doesn't black out. But if you're in static mode, then you want to hit the blackout, then it will black out. And then you turn it back on and it turns back on. But also in static mode, you can't cycle through the colors. I'm on red now, so I want to go to green, so you figure, now it's working. When I tried this before, it didn't work. I tried to cycle through the colors and it didn't work. But these buttons up here, to me, are not working the way that they're supposed to work. As soon as you hit this, then it changes it over to manual mode, where you have to adjust the color from 0 to 255. And if you want to get out of that, I don't know how to get out of that, because there isn't a static button on here, or you'd have to go to auto or whatever. So it's just, I don't like this remote. If I want to cycle through the colors on static mode, then it seems like it's working fine now. If I want to go to black out any color when I'm talking, you just want to black it out, so I'll hit blackout and it blacks out. And also, these buttons aren't as responsive as I would like them to be. Now I'm going to hit auto. So if I want to go to auto, now it's going to cycle through the colors, and I should be able to go to different programs. If I want to go to sound mode, now I'm on sound mode. I have to talk a little bit, and the sensitivity needs to be up if it's going to be behind you, as you can see there, because it's not really doing anything. Go to strobe and get the strobe going. Can I black out the strobe? I can black out the strobe. Okay, now we're at 0 again. Speed doesn't do anything. Sensitivities for the other part. Percentage. Fade, I think it's the same thing. But if I just want to go See, I hit number 1 right here, and now it's on color temperature mode. But that's not what's showing up on these colors. So if I go here, hit auto, now it's going to go through the different colors. If I say, oh, this is red, let me do red. No, it's not red, it is 2700. But it doesn't show 2700 on here. All right, so we go back to auto. And what I want to do is try manual mode. So we go to manual mode, which doesn't seem to be working. And then we go to hit red, and that's not red. That's not green. That's not blue. Not white. Let me go back over to auto. And now I'm stuck. This is what the problem was before. I'm stuck on whatever the heck it's doing now. It's not even adjusting. Okay. Now let's hit, I'm going to hit the B button for blue. And it doesn't do anything. I'm going to hit the manual button. Manual. And we'll do white since it's on blue now. Red. It's supposed to be red. Right here. I'm hitting the red button. It's supposed to be red, not red. It's supposed to be green, not green. Hit the manual button again. Go red, nothing. Manual button again. Go blue, nothing. Go back to auto. Hit the manual button. Go to red, nothing. Today is the first day that I actually get to play with this unit. And the way that I would use this remote is I would take my fixture, and unfortunately I would have to set it up on my own, and I would have to go to the menu, and go to static, which is at the top right here. I want to go fixed, and then hit the red button. Right now it's on white, which is fine. Then I set it wherever I need to set it. So let's pretend that's the red that I want to have on my wall. And if I want to go to green, then I just hit the button and it goes to green. Then that's only the plus and minus arrow. That's all I'm hitting. So then if I want to do blue, then I take my plus and I go blue. And then if I want to do white, white, and then we start going into the color mixing. But if I wanted to do anything with this remote, that's what it would be. I would just, set it up and go through these different modes. So let's just go back to blue, and then back to green, and back to red. So that's pretty much it. That's the way this remote is designed. I like the light fixture itself. Some of the controls are not what I would like it to be, but this remote is probably the worst of all of them. It doesn't do what you would figure it is supposed to do. I understand this remote is a catch-all for all of the IR Chauvet fixtures. I just wish the internal programming was set up a little bit better with this, but it is what it is. I paid about $100 for this light fixture. I can see myself using it for different things. Right now I have a ring light directly behind me shining on me, so I might switch that out. I do like the fact that this has the screw right here for your tripod, and then you can add another one on top so it has both sides. And let me just turn this off real quick while we're doing that. So to turn it off, hold the button down. Chauvet appears. When it shuts off, then the light should shut off. You have your threading on the top and the bottom here, and then for the fixture you just have it on the bottom. I would like to see it on top as well. I think that would have been a great feature as well, because if you set this unit horizontally, then anything else you want to do on top of it is pretty much done. But if you set it vertically, you can put it on the stand and then have something on top as well, a microphone or whatever it is. I guess if you put it sideways, you can still put a microphone, but it's going to be on the left or right side. So that is just my little suggestion to Chauvet. I like this fixture. You'll see me using it in a few of my videos. Overall, I think it is definitely worth $100 to be able to utilize it a little bit better than a static ring light. And it's made by Chauvet. I have a lot of Chauvet products. So far, I think this is worth $100, even though we have those issues with the remote. That to me is the only negative, is the fact that it doesn't have a better utilizing feature for the remote control. I am going to charge it up. One of the things I wanted to make sure of is that you can charge the light and use it at the same time. So right now it's showing that it's charging when you plug it in, See if we can turn it on. Yes. So you can turn it on. It should show up red. And you can see right there that it's charging. So that is a good feature as well, because I know some units, when you plug it in, the charging aspect goes away and it just feeds off of the actual power only. So overall, if you're looking for an aesthetic light, then this is definitely a good way to go. If you're looking for something to do a video, I think that a ring light is going to suit you a lot better. I'm personally using just an Amazon $20 ring light right now. I think it's going to help a lot more than doing the Chauvet Cast Tube. I think this is going to be more for aesthetics. So if you put it in the corner, have it shine up like an uplight, maybe do a wider backlighting, which I think I'm going to do right now, so you can see what I'm talking about. So that halo effect, that red around me, that's what I'm talking about. You're able to utilize that there, and if I'm able to, lean over just a little bit, then you catch some of it. That is what I would use this fixture for. As I mentioned, turn it around, have it shine against the wall to do a little bit of backlighting behind me as well. It's wireless, so that's another positive for this unit specifically. A lot of the lights that I have, they require power, so it becomes a little bit trickier when you're out and about trying to do any type of recording, especially in a low light situation. And really you can just throw this in and go. You don't have to worry about trying to find power. Even if you're in a building, you can say, boom, here's the light, done. So I like that aspect of it. As I mentioned, it's definitely worth $100, which is what I paid for it. And we'll see how much use I get out of it. I know this was a long review. I set up separate chapters specifically for each function of the cast tube, so that way you can just go right to where you want to be. If you're wanting to know how to utilize the strobes, you can jump to that. If you're wanting to see the internal sound patterns, you can jump to that. If you're looking for the auto function, you can jump straight to that. So it's just a lot easier for you to navigate through this video because it is so long. But I wanted to give you an in-depth, thorough look at the Chauvet Cast Tube. Thank you for rocking with me and checking out my video, my full review, my full unboxing of the Chauvet Cast Tube. I did another video on the microphone that I'm using right here. It is called the Hollyland Lark C1. That video is going to be right there. My playlist on all my how-tos are going to be right there, so you can check out either one of those. I appreciate you rocking with me one more time. My name is Damon. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here so I can play with my light.